it's Ilene here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the mom tag that Miranda had tagged me in. So before I get started, please guys subscribe to my channel and don't forget, hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload to YouTube. Before I get into this tag, I just wanted to show you this picture. This is me and the boys at my son's bar mitzvah just this March. So this is the mom tag, and I was tagged by Miranda PMV. That is her YouTube channel name, and there's a bunch of questions here that I'm going to answer, and these are kind of fun because it helps you guys get to know me as well. So let's see what number 1 is. Favorite mom hack? Well, I got 3 boys in the house, so I have 2 boys of my own, and my boyfriend's son I have raised, and he's the youngest. He's 6, and my boys are 11 and 13. So I don't really like to buy super fancy or expensive clothes. I like to use hand-me-downs whenever possible. So my mom hack would be, you know how the boys, they like to slide on their knees and do all sorts of crazy things. So when they get a hole in their pants, I end up cutting off the legs and sewing them into shorts, and that way I could save them for the little guy. So that's my mom. Number 2, what is your most embarrassing mom moment? There have been plenty of those, especially with my oldest. He's 13 now and he's super awesome now. But when he was younger, he was a handful. He has ADHD. He was born really early. He was a 27 weeker. So his impulsivity gets the best of him. It could now, but he's learned how to manage it. So I would say maybe he was like 7 or so. We went to the diner, my boyfriend and I and the kids. And he wanted to get something for dessert, and I didn't want him to get dessert because then the whole table would have wanted dessert, and it was late, it was time to go. He was flailing all his arms like a crazy person, knocked over orange juice, made a giant mess, screaming, everyone's staring at us. Oh my God, guys, it was crazy. And basically, I picked him up, I got him out the diner, I waited for my boyfriend to finish paying, and we were out of there. And of course I go back, I was very over it, but it was embarrassing to say the least. Number 3, what part of the day do you love most? I love the night the most. I love when the kids are settled in their rooms and I can have my time to do whatever I want and not be too bothered by them. That's my best time. What part of the day do you like the least? I like homework time the least. When I first get home from work, the 6-year-old, it's time to do homework. It is a nightmare. I always hated doing homework with my oldest son as well. It's just, I'm not a good teacher. I get frustrated really easily when they don't understand what to me is super simple. So homework time is the worst time of the day for me. Number 5 is the worst thing someone said to you when you were pregnant. Now, I remember I used to work as a dietitian in a hospital the time I got pregnant with Daniel. And I remember that my food service director one day came over and was like, "Ooh, your butt and your hips have gotten big." And I was like, she never really joked around. She never said anything to me unless like it was something I needed to do, and it was very rare because she was the food service director and I still had a different boss, the chief clinical dietitian. So when she said that to me, I felt like I must have looked huge. 6, baby name you didn't agree on. There were a lot of baby names that we didn't agree on, and I remember naming my second son Jason, and I wanted to name him Jaden. Some people tell me it's a girl's name. I don't know, I think it could be either or, but he would not go with Jaden, and I didn't win. He turned out to be Jason. 7, did you or didn't you co-sleep? No, I never did the co-sleeping thing. Of course, you know, every kid crawls into their mom and dad's bed, and when that occurred, I was super tired. I would try to redirect my kids back, but sometimes they would just end up staying in the bed, but no, on a whole, my kids always slept in their own bed. 8, Something you bought and never used. That's really hard for me. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I despise buying things and not using them. I hate waste of any kind, so I probably did use, and even if it took some time, I just can't think of anything that I didn't use per se. Just not coming to my mind. Number 9. 3 hospital bag must-haves. Well, both my hospitalizations ended up being in a hurry. I did not ever get to pack a bag. I did not, but if I were to have been able to pack a bag, I would have packed some comfy clothes. I would have packed my own socks. I hate those little rubber things. And definitely my own soap and shampoos. Number 10. Are you a routine mom or go with the flow, and what does bedtime look like? I wouldn't consider myself a go with the flow. I think I'm more of a routine, and I try and keep that up so that they get good habits, even though staying up till 11 playing video games isn't the best. When we were younger, it was much easier to be more strict. At this point, everything is done like shower time. They're in their rooms, they're playing their games, their video games, doing their thing, and I really don't bother them. And they stay up till 11, and is when I make them shut everything down. I don't care if it's a weekday, weekend. I think that's enough time, unless it's something special. I feel 11 o'clock, I tell them that is it, game's off, because if they're still wired and want to be awake at that point, I tell them, if you really want, you could read a book. Otherwise, good night. 11, what type of labor did you have? What pain relief did you choose? So for me, my pregnancies were really bad. My first son, my Daniel, he's 13 now. When I was pregnant with him, I started having contractions at 23 weeks. And it was not good. So I went into the hospital. I thought I'd get some IV fluids. I thought that I'd be just in and out, getting the fluids and go home. That's not what happened. They did all that, but my contractions wouldn't go away, so I ended up getting admitted to the hospital, and I was there for about 3 weeks, or a little bit over, until I delivered him. Actually, about, 4 weeks. It was horrible, absolutely horrible, so my labor was just constant contractions for all those weeks. Torture, pain, agony. They gave me all sorts of medicines to stop the contractions, and they held me off, but at 27 weeks, he didn't want to stay anymore, and it was an emergency C-section, and he almost died. He was 2.5 pounds, and now today, he's taller than me, he's healthy, he's strong, and his only medical problem is the ADHD and minimal asthma, which continues to improve. So, it's amazing. I just thought I would open this book really fast and show you guys. These were the first pictures of my son. It is very, very scary. He was a super, super sick baby. And it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. This was my first Mother's Day. I finally got to hold my child over a month after, well no, it was about a month after he was born. This is how my son looked, guys. This was him in the hospital. This was over 2 months past when I had him. And this was the day that I got to take my Daniel home. 4.5 months later, he got to go home with the oxygen, as you see. My second pregnancy was very similar. They knew that I was high risk based on what happened, and what happened was the same thing, but improved. I went on bed rest at 23 weeks. I was contracting away, but I got to stay home, so that was a saving grace for me. The only thing was that I had Daniel, and he was a handful and a half, and I had to have a nanny come live with us during the week when my husband at the time would have to go to work. And I didn't get out of bed except to shower and to go to the doctor. My meals were all in bed. I was extremely strict because I wanted to hold out and not have my baby early. And Jason was born at 36 weeks, and I'm so thankful that all of that went much, much better. Needless to say, both my pregnancies were C-sections. Daniel was the emergency, and I don't know, they put me to sleep. It was like serious. They didn't know if he'd make it. They didn't know if I would make it. I was not in good shape. So, yeah, I think my uterus was rupturing. I don't even remember. Honestly, I've kind of like put all that behind me because it was so traumatic. I'm not gonna get into any further details right now though. Over to Jason, he was a C-section. I had an epidural. I was awake the whole time, and it wasn't that bad. It really wasn't. 12, have you ever been mom shamed? No, I don't really let people get to me like that, so I do things on my way, and if people don't respect that or agree with it, it doesn't shame me, not at all. 13, the biggest challenges you faced since becoming a mom. Well, the challenges never seem to end. The biggest challenge was definitely that first year of Daniel's life. He did come home after a 4.5-month stay at the NICU, and it seemed endless. I did not think he was gonna ever get out of the hospital. He came home, he had oxygen, he had a pulse oximeter, and we had to go to a slew of doctors all the time. That first year of his life was so critical, and it was rough. So that was definitely the roughest time of my life. Now I could say the roughest is their attitudes and how they think they could talk and be just that teenage-like attitude. So the challenges with that never end, and of course with school, keeping on their schoolwork and their grades and their behavior at times. It's all a challenge, and I know little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems, so I don't think the challenges will ever go away. That is just part of being a mom. 14, the best advice you've ever given and the biggest piece of advice you'd give a new mom. You know, my biggest piece of advice is you could gather up all the information and all the advice from friends, from families, from, you know, social media sites, but you know what? You gotta do what's in your heart of hearts and do what you wanna do, and you gotta know and be okay with that. You can't let anyone else tell you how to raise your children and what to do. Just my advice to you is you do things your way, and at the end of the day, you know that you're in charge of your kids, and that's all that matters. You know that you're loving them and you're taking advice in, but at the end of the day, it's your choice how to raise your children. Don't let everybody else's opinions mix your head up and get you crazy that you have to do A, B, and C, because life doesn't work that way. Every human being is different. Every child is different. Every way to parent works different. So just do things how you feel are comfortable, and with time, you will learn for the next time, and if you have the situation, what will work even better. It's a learning experience, so that's my best advice to any new mom. You will learn. People have been having babies for, I mean, I don't even know how to say how many gazillions of years, so don't worry, you got this. Number 15, the last question is, who is your mom crush and who do you tag? I don't have a mom crush. I don't know. I don't really do that. I don't get into the celebrity life. I mean, yes, there's a lot of mom celebrities that look awesome. If I had a personal trainer and nothing better to do than to exercise all day and have somebody cook my meals, and food was unlimited where I could buy any fresh produce and salads every day, all day, I would probably be loving how I looked as a mom much better, but I'm content with myself and I'm happy with who I am, so I don't crush on anybody. Who do I tag? I'm gonna tag any one of my subscribers that wants to jump in on this. I'm not gonna name anyone specific, just if you wanna jump in on this tag, you're more than welcome to. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Please comment down below. Let me know if you like videos like this, if you like getting to know me. I'm open to questions, so whatever you guys want to know, I'm here to get to know you better and have fun. So don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget, hit that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload to YouTube. I'll see you soon. Bye.